Yes, we are live. Marvelous. How exciting. Good evening, one and all. Surviving lockdown 3 here in the UK. Wow. Okay. So it's a challenge. I've seen many people, struggling today, and many people not happy about what's happened. Of course, it's difficult. It's difficult for all of us. I put a little post out earlier on the socials just about surviving lockdown. I mean, it's not as if someone's shooting at us or anything, is it? But surviving the lockdown is important. Our mental health is vital to our success. So a few quick things that were on my mind about surviving lockdown. Work smart. Really work smart during this time. Try and see it as a gift. We've been given the gift of some time. Let's try and get our heads down and let's get some work moving. Let's get some things happening. Add service, or give service, add value, I should say. Add value to everyone around you as best as you can from your desk. You can't be out there and about and socializing and mingling and all that other stuff. But that'll come back to us in 2021. Later in 2021, we will have that opportunity again, I'm sure of it, to be able to mix again and actually be out in the world, enjoying that life that we all miss, right? We all miss that. So, add service or add value, give service, get yourself into a positive place, work smart during this time. I love to say as well, make sure you have a few breaks in the day. If you've been given the gift of some time, take a bit of exercise, pop out and get your lunch if you need to go and get your food or whatever. Exercise, play a little bit of golf. I've got my little putting machine or my putting mat, and I've got my little trampoline and stuff like that as well for a bit of fitness, and the PS4 if all else fails and I have to play FIFA. All I'm saying to you is that take a few breaks, set some goals, take a few breaks, and enjoy this time as best as you can, but be ready for 2021. I've been talking to a few people already tonight. Be ready for 2021. It's going to come. If things are going to get easier. Justin says, I'm a chef, industry on its knees, 26 years in, want to branch out, where to start? Well, that's a great thing to look at, Justin. It's great that you are starting to think outside of the box. Some of the best things you can do is read some of the books that are on my website. Just go to markwilkinsonofficial.com. There's a load of books on there from very, very successful people that talk, every single one of them talks about multiple sources of income. You have to have multiple sources of income. Don't get me wrong, being a chef is brilliant. You can still make money doing that, but let's look at lots of other different ways to make some money. There's lots of ways for you to add value and give service, Justin. I promise you that. Okay. So really, really important. Start to reach out for a few books. And if you want a bit of guidance, just drop me a message and I can point you to a couple of them. I'd say Kevin Green's book, The Rich Rules, and Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad are two excellent books to get you started on multiple sources of income. Bob Proctor talks about it a lot as well. If you need a coach, get a coach, but get someone who's going to get you working and get you moving forward. The best people in life that I've found for them to coach me and for me to copy them are the people that are already doing it. Get coached by people that are already successful. It's massively, massively important. Set your goals. Be ready for 2021. This could be a preparation time, and by the time it gets to the spring and the summer, you could be absolutely buzzing and ready to go, right? And the last thing I'd say to you on this one is just keep smiling, right? So look, on a Tuesday night, we do Life Remixed samples. The book is coming out in 8 weeks time at the end of February, which we're really buzzing about. I'm really pleased that it's been 10 years in the making, this book, and I'm really pleased that I'm in such a good place now that I can actually just allow this book to come out into the world with everything that I feel that can help so many people get over this crisis, as well as get over any particular crisis that might turn up in your life. So really, really important. Hi, Keith on Instagram. Great to have you here. If you want to pop something in the chat box as well while we talk about Life Remix samples this evening, then please do. It's always great to hear from you guys. The input is always appreciated. But as far as Life Remix samples goes, by now we're up to chapter 7. So we're up to chapter 7. I'm just doing the final edit this week, and then it's going to go out and be ready for the big wide world. But at the end of the day, chapter 7 is about a sense of purpose. You must find a sense of purpose in your life. It's so important. I didn't really understand it until I was asked about it over and over and over again by so many different people. What is your purpose? What is your purpose? What is your purpose? I was like, I don't know. I haven't got a clue. I don't even know, I just play some records, people dance, that's it, right? But I never really understood what they were talking about until one day the penny kind of dropped. So a couple of quotes. I always like to start each chapter with a couple of quotes. The purpose of life is a life of purpose. That's from Robert Byrne. The purpose of life is a life of purpose. You must have a life of purpose. If you haven't got a life of purpose, you're out there and you're not really achieving what you would really like to do. Know your purpose, but best of all, this is the best bit, you get to decide what it is. Nobody's pre-written it for you. You get to make that decision for you. And the best thing you can do is to make that decision as quickly as possible in your life, because then once you've got your sense of purpose, that's it. That you're just doing that for the rest of your life. I found my purpose, and finding yours is so important. I'll explain why as we go through the chapter. But the question is, do you know your purpose? Do you know your reason for being here on the planet? What is your why? Do you know the reason why you get out of bed and turn up every morning? Have you ever thought about it? And here's the important bit. Can you articulate it? You know, it's so important. Can you articulate, right? Can you articulate your purpose? Can you describe it? Can you speak it? If someone said, I guarantee you, I speak to a lot of people throughout my life, in the days and weeks and months of each year. And I ask many people about this, what's your purpose? And nobody can tell me. You'd be amazed. Hardly anybody can tell me what their purpose is for being on the planet, why they're here. And that, in its way, is you're missing out. You know, you're really missing out. You've got to find out where the juice is, and you've got to get absolutely buzzing about it. Hi, Richard. Thanks for your message on LinkedIn there. Really appreciate that. So important to understand and articulate words and how they impact upon your life. You must decide. My purpose, I decided on it. I was a DJ when I was a kid, record producer, and then I started to grow and I started to learn more through various problems I had that were all in the book. But I learned to articulate what my purpose is. It's to bring joy, to bring knowledge, to inspire and create. Now, there are two important days in your life. It's the day you were born. You know, yes, thanks, mum and dad. It's the day you were born, and the day you make the decision about why you were born. What are you here to do? You know, once you decide what you're here to do, you will just push yourself and grow and learn and study and understand and what, you know, be like a sponge for information. Want to learn. And that's the exciting bit. That's where things really start to get buzzing in your life. And I never really realized it. Hi, Dave. He says he's looking forward to catching up tomorrow. That's brilliant. I love that. Look, at the end of the day, what I would say is that you must make these decisions. You've got to make these decisions. I ask a lot of people about what your purpose is, and the majority of them and they don't come up with an answer. And sometimes people go away for like weeks and months at a time, and then they come back and then they say to me like, yeah, I've got it. That's great, as long as it takes you, but you've got to come up with an answer to it. Yeah. Most people have never given this much thought. I'll talk about love and relationships later on in a chapter as well. And I ask people about what is love, and many people can't answer that either. And it's very, very interesting to learn this stuff and go with it. So as I say, really, really important to understand how it is in your life. What gets you buzzing? DJing and music, that got me buzzing. Now writing this book and helping other people and building businesses, that gets me buzzing. And ultimately, you know, you can do the same stuff. I promise you can do the same stuff. You get that magical feeling, things feel great, and you're ready to really rock this. You know, what I would say is that it's very, very important to live your life on purpose. Yeah, all the clues are in the language for us here. On purpose is the way to live your life. So not an accident, not get up and get buffeted around during the day and dragged off this way and that way and any of that stuff, but on purpose. This is my life. It's on purpose. Joy, knowledge, inspire, create. As long as I'm doing those four things, that's what doing these videos and everything else is on my purpose. Putting this book out and these great messages and everything, that's on purpose for me. It's so important. We've got Life Remixed. You've got the Life Remixed book here. You know, we've also got the free positivity pack that we're giving away to people as well when you pre-order on the Mark Wilkinson official website. But the bottom line is that all this stuff is on purpose for me. If you want to sit about and get, you know, lagging drunk and start to you know, have some like mad party, that's not for me anymore. Certainly. But the point is that, you know, it doesn't really add anything. It doesn't really do much for me. Hey Kev, how are you, mate? It doesn't do much for me. But your point is you have to find your purpose, and the sooner you find it, the more successful you're going to be in your life. In Think and Grow Rich, in Napoleon Hill's amazing book, he says in there that most people's successful years are 45 to 65. That's when people really start to pick up the pace and they start to understand things about life, and they can really start to do some huge things in the world. A lot of the stuff we do before is all just like learning our way and making mistakes. And trust me, I made a lot. But the bottom line is that, cheers, Kev. Thanks very much. Yes, mate. I'm all good over here. Thank you. But look, the point is that this is interesting stuff, right? Understanding your sense of purpose and getting out there and really then making sure you live your life on purpose is a beautiful thing. And now I do that through all my lives, through the DJ mixes on Saturday nights. I do it through these lives. I do it through the book. I do it through businesses. I do it through everything. And it's honestly, it's just such a nice way to live. I say here in the book, everything I do from the moment I wake up until the moment my head hits the pillow is on purpose. It's absolutely on purpose. I want the same for you guys. You can decide it. You can choose on it. If you already know your purpose, stick it in the chat box, of course, as well. I'm always here to listen to you guys. Some people say, if you're, just putting yourself first all the time. People say like, it's selfish. It's selfish. Of course, it's not selfish. Don't talk crap. At the end of the day, if you think about the aeroplane, if you're on the aeroplane, if the oxygen comes down, what do they tell you to do? Yeah. They tell you to put the mask on first. Yeah. Get yourself right before you even put the mask on to any children you've got with you. Because if you're not right, then you can't help them. Okay. It's as simple as that. So your mission in life must be to be living on purpose and making sure that you are spot on, because then you can give out your absolute energy to other people. And that's beautiful. Hello, Lifestyle Motor Company. Thanks for joining us over there on Instagram. Justin says he loves it and he gets it. Brilliant, Justin. I'm so pleased, mate. I'm so pleased. At the end of the day, the more it's like a muscle. The more you work it, the bigger the muscles get. Wow, and then you're absolutely buzzing. But you've got to do that with your mind. And that's how it comes through making decisions and understanding things like the law of attraction and other universal laws. All of which I cover as we go through the book, of course, as well. And tonight we're looking at chapter 7, which is a sense of purpose. I do urge you to read more books. We are the sum total of the books that we read, right? At the end of the day, if we don't read some great books, then we've got no advantage over someone who can't read the great books, So let's get ourselves moving, read some interesting stuff that's out there. All my recommended readings are on my website. Just go to markwilkinsonofficial.com. But I would say this, your purpose has to be huge. It has to be massive. You have to absolutely love your purpose. It has to be brilliant. It has to be wonderful. You have to think about it every day and be like, yeah, that makes me feel good. Yeah. And then you can build your vision around that. I use mantras or affirmations, you might call them, but mantras and affirmations, and then use your imagination to visualize what you really, really want. It does work. It's worked for me to go from bankrupt to financially free. It worked for me from being unable to walk to running marathons. It's worked for me every single time, and it will work for you. So the bottom line is you have to make the decision and go for it. Okay. But once you fully understand your purpose on the planet, life will just unfold exactly as you would like it to be. There's a lot more in here about understanding the law of attraction, and then top 5 lifetime goals. Wonderful stuff. Hopefully you'll fill all this out when you get the book, and you'll go through it and actually make some real positives for you. So as far as remix opportunities go, let's have a little think about the remix opportunities and how to actually get ourselves to a point of pure happiness. Pete, hi Pete, how are you, mate? 45 is my awakening. Some fantastic news to share. Brilliant. First contract in the bag. Yes, mate. First big step forward in the new direction, mate. That's absolutely wonderful, Peteski. I'm loving that. That's really, really important. 45 to 65 are most people's most effective years on this planet. So 45 to 65 is where you're really going to make things happen. You make all your mistakes and then you move forward and you start to do something really important. So it's great stuff. I'm really pleased, Pete. I'm really pleased. So let's think about some remix opportunities. I do love this part of it. At the end of every chapter, we do a little section on the remix opportunities. What makes you happy is the first one. What makes you happy? I know what makes me happy. What makes you happy? What makes me happy is seeing other people smiling. I love to see other people smiling. I'm no longer emotionally attached to that, though. So I'm not emotionally attached. If someone doesn't like me, or they don't like what I'm doing, or they don't like my message or anything like that, it's okay. It's okay. They'll find their own way. It's not an issue. So what makes you happy? Really start to think about it. Really start to think about it, because when you start make yourself happy, you'll start to make other people happy, and that's really important for all of us. I'm my own biggest critic. How do I get over that, Justin? That's a brilliant question, mate. That's a brilliant question. I think we can all suffer with that from time to time. I think you need to practice a bit of self-love. I think you absolutely need to give yourself a bit of a hug and tell yourself actually you're doing some good things. With Equilibria and the e-colors thing that I've been talking about recently, if you get in touch with me, I can talk to you about that. But that's, you need to understand there's a bit in your personality that may well just come out because you want to criticize yourself. But the most important thing to do is to start patting yourself on the back and looking at all your successes. The way I got over being my own worst enemy, if you like, or being my own biggest critic, was I wrote down a list of all the things that I've been successful at since I can remember. So the first thing was 4 years old, riding a little bicycle along the street in front of my mum, who was shocked because she'd never seen me ride a bike before. And I was like, get me a bike, mum, I'm off. Right. But that's my first success. Yeah. And then after that, I just went through. 16, learned how to mix records. 18, out in nightclubs. 25 or 30, or whatever it was, a record in the top 10, 65 countries, all this stuff, right? I just wrote down, it's part of it's in the book. You'll see it. I've got my success list. Go back to your earliest memory and go through your life and write down every single place you've been successful. Send me the list. I want to see it, mate. I want to see it, right? Really important. So then the next thing, of course, is decide on your life's purpose. So mine was joy, knowledge, inspire, create. And that was it. I was like, these things make me happy. I love joy. I love sharing it with you guys. I love knowledge. I love sharing it with you guys. I love to inspire people. Yes. And I love to create stuff, books, companies, DJ mixes, records, music, everything else, right? So Kev says he's about to hit 47. Yes, mate, you're absolutely right. You're literally just warming up, Kev. I promise you that, mate. It's so important. And Aluna says, my purpose is to inspire people to be authentic, to embrace their true nature and to live fully. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. And you are well on your way to doing that, Aluna. I know you are. So that's amazing. But decide on your life's purpose, right? It's so important. Glad you got that, Justin. Top man. Love it. Here's something for you as well. This is important. Successful people make decisions quickly. Yeah, remember what I said there? Successful people make decisions quickly. Yeah, they don't faff around. They don't take ages to make decisions. They go, right, decision, done. We're going for it. And then they get on with it. But the decision is already made. If you're indecisive, you're never going to be as successful as you would like to be. Decisiveness, decision, done. I'm very certain about what I'm doing and how I'm bringing joy, knowledge, inspire, create to the world. You decide. Okay. Really important. Live your life on purpose, as I've said, absolutely important. You can't just, you can't drag me off my purpose. If I'm not bringing joy to people, then I excuse myself and I move on. I go somewhere else. If I'm not bringing knowledge to people or sharing some inspiration or creating something, then I move to somewhere where I can be effective and live on purpose. Do the same, guys. Live your life on purpose. And the last one, this is a beauty. This is an absolute beauty. Justin, this may well help you with the whole criticism thing as well. By the way, fear of criticism is one of the top 6 fears identified in Think and Grow Rich. So we all have that. I've even suffered with myself from that from time to time as well. And these things can rise and fall. You have to keep growing, keep learning, keep building the muscle. But here we go. Ready? This is the last remix opportunity. There is no such thing as failure, only learning events. So what would you do if you knew that you couldn't fail? What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? It's a great question, because I'm going to tell you something right now. You can't fail. It's not possible. And loads of people now are going, yes, what about if I fail? What about if I lose all my money? Or what about this? Or what if? What about if everything goes really well? What about if everything goes great? We do learn by our mistakes, Justin. Bang on, mate. Bang on. We learn by our mistakes. That's what we do. There's learning events. If you keep making the same mistake over and over and over again, then something will happen. You'll get some pain. And that pain is sent as a message for you to learn from it, right? So at the end of the day, if you get in pain, I had pain ravaging through my body. I also had mental pain and worries and doubts and relationship breakups and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I had all of that going around in my life when I was younger. And as Justin says there, what's the worst that can happen? I'll tell you what the worst that can happen for me was I worried about my health. I worried about running out of money. I worried about my DJ career. I worried about my relationships. And guess where it led me? It led me to being unhappy, sick, and broke. Yeah, that was the worst that could happen. Unhappy, sick, and broke. 38 years of age, living in my mum's spare room, going, what the hell has just happened here? What is this about? Right? And that in itself was kind of like, it was just the wake-up call of all wake-up calls, because I was like, I'm better than this. I'm more intelligent than this. I've got more about me than this. But what I'd done is I'd committed my entire life to music and to DJing and to record production. And when those things went out of the window, I didn't have any other plan. I didn't have multiple sources of income. I didn't have a life purpose. I'd have this X, Y, Z, you know, I didn't have a relationship. I didn't have the support. I basically just messed the entire thing up. Hey, TJ, how are you, mate? I messed the entire thing up because I wasn't following some basic universal rules. And as soon as I started to study the universal rules, I went, right, okay. Universal laws, I should say. I started to dust myself off and go, right, come on. You're better than this. Get up off the floor and go again. And that sense of purpose about this chapter in Life Remixed, that sense of purpose is the thing that got me up and got me going. Because I was like, I can go and jump off a bridge, or I can damn well do better than this. And there's other people out there that are being really successful. Why am I not able to do it? So I had to unlearn a lot of things that I'd learned. And there's a whole thing in the book about this, about unlearning stuff, right? Unlearning stuff that you learned as a kid, you know, from society or possibly from your parents or whatever. Unlearning all of that rubbish and then relearning good stuff, positive stuff that can actually lift you up. Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich says there's two streams of life. One that will take you down into poverty and disease, and the other one that will take you up into happiness, health, and wealth. And you decide which one you're going to get into. And the whole thing about decision is you must decide which one you're going to get up into. Oh, there we go. My Instagram drops off a little bit there. But you do get to make a decision. The power of a positive mind. You cannot live a positive life with all the happiness, health, and wealth, and all the money, and all the joy, and all the love, and all the relationship. You cannot live that life when you have negative thoughts. One of my biggest quotes is, if you knew the power of a negative thought, you would never have another one. If you knew the power of a negative thought, you would never have another one. You know? And we allow these things to, like, you know, and some people might just have a little negative, and might, you know, but it'll hold them back. I don't want to be judged, so I'm not going to go and stand up and public speak about my book, or, you know, I'm not, you know, someone might have a go at my DJing, so you know, I'll just stay, you know, I'll just stay at a certain level, and, you know, and I've suffered with those, and you can tell those are probably two that I talk about, right? Because they affect me. But at the end of the day, you just overcome it. Just, you know, what anyone else thinks of you is none of your business. Get your sense of purpose and get yourself moving forward. And my mission for 2021 and the rest of my life is to live to my purpose, to put Life Remixed out, and then help as many people as I possibly can actually get to a place where they can look at their own lives and go, I'm so pleased that I made this change and this change and this change. It's so important. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself a little hug. Tell yourself that everything's good, especially during lockdown, because lockdown and the mental health issues around lockdown and everything else, and the you know, we are social beings, and so being kind of separated from each other is not right. It's not the way we want to live, but it is actually just the way that we're having to live for the time being. But the bottom line is get up, do good work, like I said at the start, have some breaks, enjoy it as best you can, you know, find some things around the house to be able to do to distract you for a little while. Think about at Google and stuff like that. They've got pool tables and PS4s and stuff like that. Have a little break from now and again, and then get back to work when you feel like buzzing and you feel like really, really good about it. And what I would say is just keep smiling. Please keep smiling. Be happy. You know, do share these videos all around. If you want to get yourself a pre-order of Life Remixed, then you can. You can just go to markwilkinsonofficial.com/shop. It's there for you guys. You get a free positivity pack as well, which contains all the stuff I'm talking about, including mantras, affirmations, take action. There's a little sneak preview of the book in there as well. So you get the first little part of one of the chapters as well. So look, guys, I'm here for you. I love to hear from you. I love your feedback, Justin, Kevin, all of you guys. Talk, Pete, every one of you that's interacted tonight. Thank you all so much. Got nothing but absolute love for you. And let's keep going. Let's keep growing. Now, tomorrow night, I'm going to be back at 7:30 p.m. and I've got Peggy McColl and Judy O'Byrne. If you're interested in books and getting a book out and getting a message out, or if you've got something to say and you would like to know more about it, these two women, the two book sisters from America, these are two women that you need to hear about their stories and also what they do for people, because they are absolutely incredible. Their energies are massive. And you're gonna love it. You're gonna absolutely love it. So tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Please do come and join us on Straight Talking. I'm going to do the whole live across all of the platforms all at once. They're in the States, they're in Canada, I should say, and they're going to be live online with us. It's going to be great. So I'm really looking forward to that tomorrow evening. Until then, big love. Thanks all so much. I'll see you soon. See ya.